Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, Melbourne's had another earthquake. Now, I felt this one again. I was sitting up and I sort of felt the building sort of move and then move. And then I sort of heard this sort of little creaking, sort of rattling sound that sort of went on and on for. I'm like, okay, we're still moving, but it's not like the last time. And each earthquake has been different. It's really weird. I remember the first one I thought this was years ago. I thought that my friend, I was sitting down in a chair, had gotten up. I thought she'd bumped into my chair and the chair was still moving. I realised, no, it's the whole earth that's moving. It was really weird. Then the next one I was aware of, I really just felt, I was sitting here, I felt the bookshelves above me sort of moving. I sort of felt the sense of things swaying and I was hoping nothing fell. Then the next time I sort of jumped up when there was one, because I was afraid of stuff falling. I was sort of standing in front of my bookshelves just waiting, like, nothing's going to fall, and nothing fell. Then the last one before this was really weird because it was like it hit really suddenly. You just felt this boom and everything sort of moved and there was a sound and then it just sort of felt like the sway and it just sort of faded away. This one, it just felt really subtle. I even I put up on Facebook, Melbourne just had the politest little earthquake. Because it just felt like a little knock, and another little knock, and then just a little rattle went away. But I just saw a news article on Channel 9, and there's actually quite a bit of damage, which I didn't realise. It was a 5.1, it was in Colac, and there was an aftershock about an hour later, and then another aftershock today around 2:30, but I wasn't awake for that, so I missed that one. But there was like someone's water thing, like a cement tank, burst, and that was quite a lot of damage because this big, bunch of water just came out and damaged the house, and somebody's roof was collapsing, a fence collapsed, there was some damage inside some stores. They had some security camera where you could see plaster and that falling from the roof and things moving around on the shelves and falling over and stuff. And I'm like, I didn't realise it was that because Colac is quite far from, because I'm on the other side of the city. So sort of like Melbourne, if you imagine Melbourne's like that shape. Colac is down here, the city's here, and I'm up here. So it's like the furthest away from it. I'm like, okay, I understand why I didn't really feel it. And people felt it as far down as Tasmania, which, if you understand, here's, Melbourne, Tasmania's down here. So yeah, it's interesting. It's like apparently we're going to be feeling aftershocks for a while. And there were some people, I think in Tasmania, who were a little bit worried about tsunami, and that's been something I worried about when I lived there for my mother, because she lived right by the beach. Because she moved, because originally she lived sort of in the town and she was up on a hill, and then she moved to the beach and she was near a swamp. She was actually a little bit raised actually, but I did worry about that because I just remember when hearing about there was a big tsunami in I forgot where it is now, and that was caused by an earthquake in Tasmania because our sort of things had shifted, and instead of rubbing against each other, they lifted, and that pushes the water, and that's why you get tsunami, and that was somewhere else. And it's like our earthquake caused their tsunami. I always felt bad about that, and it's like, well, what if that happens, one of their earthquakes, it shifts, and then we get the tsunami. So I always worried about that. I'm high up building-wise and area-wise. I'm in the north. I'm up in a raised area, so I don't have to worry about that. Although, ironically, my next-door neighbour's hot water system burst and flooded my entire apartment and destroyed all my art while I was away for a week. So even though I'm on the third floor and thought I'd never have to worry about water, I did have a flood that ruined years of artwork that I still haven't dealt with or recovered from, and ruined my carpet, and now I have a mold problem in the apartment as well. And also the roof busted once during a storm, and all this water was coming through, and it was like coming down. It was all black. It was coming down little streaks all down the edges of the walls. It was like being in the Amityville Horror. And now in those walls that had the water, there's mold damage, mold problems there. So it's like, and just behind me here, there was another bit of roof that leaked, but it didn't affect me directly, but it's affected the wall. So now I have mold now behind this wall, which I didn't have. I've lived here for 15 years and didn't have a mold problem until the roof leaked. and the neighbours, hot water system leaked and flooded my whole apartment. I still don't know how they flooded my apartment. Like, there were things that were like a couple inches high off the ground that were full up with water. I'm like, how much water came in? How could so much water come out of a hot water system? So it was really bizarre. But either way, I was talking about the earthquakes. We may have more, and I'm like, what is this about? Apparently we have a lot of earthquakes, but it does seem to be more and more pronounced in the last couple of years than before. So, is this going to be a thing one day? Are we going to have a big one? Because we have had a couple of decent ones in the past, in the last 100 years or so. But who knows? I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. I wasn't going to comment on it because my experience wasn't that much, but then when I saw that it was damaged and it actually was quite big, it was just really far away from me. So I just sort of thought that was interesting. But I'm going to go. Bye.